Okay, so we looked at those molecular, ionic, and net ionic equations. And we started off with the compounds and we went down to the real chemistry. Sometimes we may know the real chemistry that we want to do, and then we have to think, well, how can I do this chemistry? So we can go backwards. We look at the ions doing the chemistry, think about what can get them into the beaker so they can do the chemistry, and we work backwards. So let's look at this example. Here I have hydrogen and hydroxide reacting to make water. So I have to think now, that's the real chemistry. Let's go backwards. Let's add some spectator ions. What can I use to get the hydrogen and the hydroxide in solution so that they can react with each other? Well, if I want a cation in solution, I need a soluble anion. So nitrate is my favorite. Nitrate works all the time, no exceptions. Chloride, bromide, iodide work a lot of the time, but there are exceptions that can get you into trouble. If I want an anion in solution, I need a cation that will make it soluble. Any alkali metal works. I like sodium. The reason I like sodium, even though all the alkali metal works, is that it is readily available. There are many, many soluble sodium compounds, and sodium salts are cheap. So I think of it with the dance analogy. When you need to get to the dance, you ask the girl next door because she's readily available. She's right next door, right? So that's sodium, the girl next door. Plausible ionic equation. Well, if I have hydrogen ions in there and it's a +1 charge, I just need one nitrate. So I'll write that in. Then I need one sodium to get the hydroxide in there. And I make water liquid. I still have these other ions in there. I have a sodium ion hanging out in there, and I have a nitrate ion. Now, if I needed more than one of these, I would put the appropriate coefficient in there because it has to be charge balanced. And this goes back to the question we had on the board at the beginning. So I have +1, -1, that's 0. +1, -1. So 0 charge on the left, 0 charge here, then a plus and a minus, so 0 charge on the right. You must write in those charges on the ions. Now, when I take this and say I'll put them together now and write the compounds, I have nitric acid, HNO3, AQ, plus sodium hydroxide, NaOH. Gives me water liquid plus sodium nitrate. So we went backwards. Now let's have you just work with the people in your vicinity and go ahead, write plausible ionic and molecular equations for these. And there are a lot of different ions you can use. I've given you my two favorites. They will work all the time. I know a lot of you like to know, will this always work? And the ones I just gave you will always work. So go ahead and work those at your seats with the people you're sitting next to.